So yeah, energy healing is a huge concept. And for me, and particularly from the more traditional approach of what I'm practicing, the system of Reiki, is really about, first of all, that you go within your own self through meditation practices to working on these 5 elements of the system of Reiki. And really feeling this inner light within yourself. What is it? Inner light is your true self, your essence, or to realize that you're the universe. Of course, we can conceptualize this, what is quite easy, but actually really feeling it deep inside of yourself as a direct experience. So I lived in India for 2 years, and for 1 year I lived in Darjeeling in the north of India in the Himalayas. And it was really beautiful. And what was great about that was that there were lots of healers around. They were Tibetan Buddhist healers, Nepali healers, shamans, Hindu, you name it. And when I started to communicate with these healers, they all had one thing in common. And that was that they had a very strong meditation practice for themselves to make sure that they felt that they were the universe. Of course, they used different words for that. They used different methods. But the one common thread was all deep meditation practices to lay bare that ultimately they were the universe, or non-duality. And for me, the more we lay bare that universe, and I often use the word bright light or great bright light to emphasize that, the more we lay bare this great bright light of that non-duality, or I'm the universe, and that of course takes the rest of our life. So this is why all these traditional healing practices or lifelong practices, you became an apprentice. And the more we lay that bare, then of course when we do or perform hands-on healing, then that will have a huge effect on your client. So I see it a bit like this. Imagine that you lay bare this light. And so let's switch on a light. And then you go to someone to perform hands-on healing or healing, however we do it. If that light shines on that person, then that person can really look very clearly at their issues, right? And maybe through that light, they can find their own inner light. What is the most profound healing what can take place? And we can talk about healing in many different ways. That can be physical, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The word healing itself comes from making whole, or ultimately remembering that we're whole already. What is that whole is really being that great bright light, that you are the universe. And of course we get physical pain, discomfort, etc. But that the essence of that healing is really that we feel good within ourselves. And for me, this is really an important element. Healing doesn't mean curing. And curing, we might cure a physical pain, etc. But healing is to make a wholeness, create this wholeness within yourself and other people. And that might mean actually that someone who is very sick is dying and you say, oh, we can't do healing on that person. Of course you can do healing on that person. That means not that they maybe jump back out of the death, or the brink of that. It can happen, you never know. I've seen amazing things, I've also seen of not amazing things. But it means is that they might die peacefully, without anger, without worry, without fear, being grateful and being compassionate to themselves. And that ultimately is a very powerful healing taking place. So healing is not always curing. We have to make a very clear distinction with that. And so therefore, the more the practitioner enters in their own mind, body and energy, that space of non-duality, I am the universe is me, then of course they can enter that healing space of non-duality with their client. And so what it means is then is not about doing a healing, but actually being in that space together, in that healing space together, and then doing a treatment from that space of beingness, if that makes sense.